Sheridan families, this is Mrs. Kimball here. Thank you for joining me for lizard lessons. Today I'm going to introduce you to two very special members of our family. One is a leopard gecko named Polo, and the second is a bearded dragon named Jet. I'm going to teach you a little bit about their habitats, a little bit about how to take care of them, and maybe we'll actually see them eat if they're feeling hungry today. So we are going to start in my son's room because this is his leopard gecko, and this is Polo. My first fun fact about leopard geckos is that you need to keep your leopard gecko's habitat toasty, like the warm climate he comes from. You should have a warm side and a cool side of the tank and let him decide the area that he likes best. So as you can see up top of his cage, we have two lamps. This one is just a heat lamp, and this is on all the time, and just like the fun fact told us, we need to keep his habitat warm. So that's what this lamp is doing all the time. Our second lamp over here is called a UV light. Just having the light in the room would not be enough for Polo. He needs to have light that actually simulates the sunlight. So that is what this UV light is for. We'll go back to our second fun fact, which is that geckos require 12 hours of visible light a day. So that's why we have this UV light. And this is on a timer, so it will be on all during the day, and then when it's time for Jackson to go to bed at night, since this is his room, it will automatically go off, so it's nice and dark when he needs to go to bed. Our next fun fact is that leopard geckos use rocks and branches as a desert playpen. So as you can see, we have a couple rocks in here, and we also have a cactus in the back. And a lot of times, we'll see him playing on that back cactus. In addition, it mentioned that you should let your leopard gecko decide where it wants to be in the cage, the cool side or the warm side. And as you can see where Polo is over here, he chose the cool side of the tank because it's the farthest away from the heat lamp, which is the one over here. Our next fun fact is that putting some moistened moss in their hide house, which is the rock, will help when they're ready to shed their skin. Mist the moss periodically with a spray bottle of water to keep the humidity higher inside their hide house. We don't have any moss in here right now, but we used to. And what they're talking about when they say that he will shed his skin is once in a while, as they're growing, you will see Polo get very faded instead of having the sharp colors that he has now. And that means he's about to shed. And what happens is his skin comes off and he actually eats it. We saw him do that. So they're very clean animals, and I don't find the shed in here. He actually eats it, which is kind of a little bit gross. Our next fun fact is it's a good idea to have a veterinarian examine your leopard gecko shortly after you get them. This is very important for Polo, actually, because shortly after we got him, he got very sick. And let me pull up a picture. I want you to see the difference of what he looked like. And my camera person, who is my daughter, will show you what Polo looked like when he was very sick. Now, as you can see in this picture, he's very skinny. He was emaciated. He was anemic. He also, if you can look at his head and his tail, he wasn't shedding properly. And his toes were very raw, and they were actually starting to fall off. So we basically nursed Polo back to health. We gave him antibiotics. We rubbed ointment on his feet. So Polo is very special to us because of that. But in addition, he now does not hunt for his food. And you'll see that in a moment. He lost that ability when he was very sick. So we actually have to hand feed him with tweezers. So I will show you that process in a moment. But yes, Polo did have to go to the veterinarian. So we were waiting in the waiting room with all the puppies and the big cats and the dogs. And here was me with my little tiny leopard gecko. My next fun fact is leopard geckos, also known as Leos, go crazy for a mixture of worms and crickets. That is, live crickets that have been fed the vitamins gecko needs. So that's what they call, it's called gut loaded. So these are the crickets that he will eat. And as you can see, we have to feed them. There are carrots in there. Sometimes we put dog food in there so that the crickets can get nutrients and then pass them on to the leopard gecko. So that's a little bit about the habitat and care for the leopard gecko. Now I'm going to show you how we actually feed Polo. So what we have to do is turn off these lamps because they do get very hot. And he's in here pretty secure, so I'm going to remove the lid. And And like I said, normally leopard geckos would hunt for their food, but because Polo had a traumatic experience when he was younger, he no longer hunts for his food, so we do have to feed him. So I'm just going to move the rock over here, and I'm going to get a cricket out. And Jamie, I don't know if you want to give a close-up as I feed him.
Not really.
Here we go. So I just hold it in front of him, and he takes the cricket and eats it from me. And I think he's pretty hungry based on how quickly he took that from me. So I'm going to get him another one, and I hold the cricket there, and he eats the cricket. So I'm just going to give him a couple for now, but he usually eats maybe 8 to 10 crickets at a time, and I feed him 1 or 2 times a week. Polo is very gentle, and he feels very light when you pick him up. And overall, he's a pretty good pet to have. So this is Polo. I'm going to put him back down and rearrange his habitat, and then we are going to make our way down the hall, and you can learn a little bit more about a bearded dragon. So I have to secure his tank again. I put his heat lamp back on top, and I put his UV light back on top. I'm going to need my tweezers and my crickets, and we are going to make our way down the hall to see Jet. All right, here we are. Now we are in my daughter's room, and this is Jet. She got Jet for Christmas. So even though he looks significantly bigger than Polo, he is actually younger than Polo. He's about 6 months, whereas Polo is about 1 year and 6 months. Again, I have some fun facts, so I need my pointer. Thank you, Jamie. First fun fact about bearded dragons. Bearded dragons get their name from the ability to puff out the skin under their throats. This darkens their skin to a black color resembling a beard, so that's why they're called bearded dragons. This is a defense mechanism, making them look more threatening to predators and other animals. Now, Jamie, do you want to maybe come along? I don't know if you can show them on this side. Get in there and kind of show them Jet so that they can see the beard a little bit. And you will definitely see him if it's hard to see it right now. Yeah, we'll do it later. You will definitely see him as I take the lid off and try to take him out a little bit. Our second fun fact is that bearded dragons are omnivores. They consume insects, vegetables, and fruits. So that's why I brought my cricket carrier with me. Jet will eat these, and he, unlike Polo, will hunt them a little bit. He also eats salad. So he has in here a mixture of kale, broccoli, and carrots. Now broccoli, since we've been home on the quarantine, Jamie actually researched what bearded dragons eat. So we have just recently added the broccoli to his salad, and he really does love it. So every day he gets some salad and he gets some crickets. My next fun fact is that bearded dragons use their short tongues to capture and eat crickets and worms. As omnivores, bearded dragons have a varied diet, including but not limited to crickets, worms, and vegetables. All right, so that's a little bit more about their diet, and you will see when I put some of the crickets in there how he does use his little tongue to kind of scoop them up. Bearded dragons can live more than 10 years with proper care. Now, here's a quiz. I said that we got the dragon in 2020. It was around Christmas time, but it was actually in January. So we got him in the year 2020. If they live 10 years, Jamie, camera person, what year will he live to? Or approximately?
2030.
Yeah, 2030. And if we lift this up, the answer is hiding below. 2030. She got it right. That homeschooling's working for her. All right, my next fun fact is bearded dragons are native to Australia. So that is basically their home where they came from. My last fun fact about bearded dragons is bearded dragons make great pets because they are easy to care for and they have sociable personalities. And just like Jet, we've actually really enjoyed having our bearded dragon too. So let me show you a little bit how we hold him and how he eats. Just like Polo, he has 2 lamps up top. He has his heat lamp, and he also has a UV light He needs a little bit more. That's why this light is bigger than Polo, but this simulates sunlight. It is a UV light. So I always turn these off, put them off to the side. Turn this one off, put it off to the side, and then I'm going to open his tank.
Oh, ow.
He does look a little more aggressive. He looks like he has spines down the side. Do you want to get in there, Jamie, or do you want me to show them with the camera? Go ahead, just show them over the top. He looks like he has spines, but really when you hold him, he's fairly soft. So what I do to hold him is I scoop him underneath, and he's still getting used to me as I'm still getting used to him. So he does try to walk off my hands. But what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put him down here because this is where he eats. All right, so I'm gonna put a couple crickets in front of him so that you can see how Jet eats. Did you see that little tongue slurp up the cricket? Just like our fun fact said? All right, let's try another one. He's probably pretty hungry.
Yep.
We'll do one more. Now sometimes that one got away, and that's okay. It'll just hide in his cage, and then a lot of times he'll find it. It'll come crawling out and he'll hunt it and find it. So let me put another one so that he can see it in front of him. Another fun fact is that they can't see very well, so a lot of times if the cricket is in front of him and not moving, he won't hunt it. So let me try to get another one that he will hunt. There we go. Yes, and he got it. All right, so that is Jet. I will try to pick him up one more time. Like I said, I try to pick him up underneath, but he is still getting used to me just like I'm still getting used to him since we only got him at Christmas time. That is Jet. And again, just like Polo, he has two habitats, one cooler side and one warmer side. Unlike Jet though, Polo often hangs out in his cooler side. Jet loves to sit right here on this rock, high up and next to the heat lamp. All right, so I'm going to put his tank back together, and before I close it up, I need to make sure that I put his salad in. So right now, because Jet is still young, he eats more crickets than salad, but as he gets older and becomes an adult, most of his diet will be salad and just a little bit of crickets. So I put his salad in. I'm gonna put his lid back on. I put his heat lamp back on and turn it on. And then Jamie is handing me the UV lamp that we're going to put back on. And there you have it. Jamie, did I miss anything? Did you show yourself on camera yet? All right, let's see it. Give yourself some credit. Here's my camera person. All right. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope you learned a little bit today about bearded dragons and leopard geckos. Have a super day.